Goodness, what weird noises. A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, Patricia and David, ZMH 286. It's actually a very dull, gloomy. We've had this anticyclone, and I'm not complaining about the anticyclone because it's bringing in lovely warm weather, unusually warm weather for us at this time of the year, to all of the top of the North Island. Very pleasant. It got to 18 degrees today, and I know that you'll be sitting there thinking, oh, 18 degrees, that doesn't sound very warm, but in fact, it is June, and it was feeling rather nice because we haven't had much wind. Currently, we've got about 5 knots of northeast, 17C, 1022.6. The barometer says it's steady, but we expect it to drop off over the next few days as the high starts to move away. 99% cloud cover, so you can see why I'm complaining about the gloom. And no rain. Again, might as well be in a Pagean country. He has no rain. Those two seem to have a miraculous time in North Minerva. They haven't had rain since they got there, and I don't think they had rain getting there. Anyway, a bit of news, and don't turn off. If you are an American, if I say the word cricket, you'll probably think, oh, this is not for me. But the T20 is on in the USA at the moment. This is a sort of a more interesting sort of game that would be quite interesting for Americans because it has 20 overs. And the USA beat Pakistan. I mean, this has shaken the cricketing world by storm. It's in Texas, so it was a great place for it to be. And it was just amazing. Now, I won't tell you the names of the USA team because they don't sound very American. They certainly sound Indian. And don't forget, there's also a big group of Caribbeans in America. So they're not exactly shy of people who really, really know the game of cricket. Some of the other games for this T20 tournament are in New York, and it's been quite a controversy because the pitch there is evidently not very flat. I mean, the cricket pitch, the bowling pitch between the two wickets, does have to be very, very well rolled out and flat. And in fact, it's very dangerous. A couple of players have actually had to retire from the game because they've been hit badly when the ball has skewed up and hit them where it shouldn't hit them.
It'll go 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, it is going very, very fast. The other news is the rain watch, or it's actually an alert around the southwest Sydney and Illawarra area. They have had an enormous amount of rain. The Hawkesbury and Nepean rivers have had 160 millimetres in the last 24 hours. So it is meant to ease off as they go into the long weekend over there. But it is, well, they showed pictures of a Mercedes floating away. I mean, it was really under the water. So they're getting the water that New Zealand is actually needing a bit because, you know, if we have no rain for a week, it's almost drought conditions. So anyway, Obsession has arrived in Denarau. They had a good trip up. Pagean has sent some news, and it's actually quite interesting. I'm not sure what we'll do when they leave Minerva, but you did know that the Tongan Navy have been in the North Minerva and South Minerva, as Paula told us last night, fixing lights and doing various exercises. Well, they had a friendly visit from a Navy Zodiac boat today in North Minerva, and surprise, surprise, it was actually the Fijian Navy. One of them explained to Pagean that Fiji and Tonga both have responsibility for the Minerva reefs since their economic zones overlap. And they asked them if they were the ones going around fixing the lights, and they said no, that was the Tongan Navy. So there's obviously good communication going on there. They also mentioned that there will be a multinational review of ships from New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, Tonga and the US, and there were 7 altogether, but he didn't catch them all. I wonder if China is in there, in Japan. Anyway, he asked them if it was a joint exercise, and he said no, it's a review. So anyway, if anyone's there, it will be interesting to see what's happening. There are quite a few boats again in North Minerva, and 6 powerboats. I'm still surprised at this. From South Minerva we've got Whitehawk heading off to Fiji, but the 6 sport fishing boats are in North Minerva, and Sauvage has just left to go, or don't know where, and Glazig, don't know them, they're coming up to the west side of the reef. What he can report and what I see on AIS is actually quite different, because not everybody has an AIS. And talking about that, let's try and find Freitas Gulf Harbour. Yeah, good signal tonight. That's really good, Paula. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, Patricia and David. Our position is 23 degrees, 01 south, 178 degrees, 56 east. We have 20 knots of wind from east-southeast, with a meter 20 cloud cover, running 356 crew. We're doing 7 knots, and we are now going to Savu, which is 393 nautical miles away.
I had a bet with myself that that's what you'd be doing when I saw those sort of easterly winds there. I thought that might be a bit uncomfortable getting to Tonga. Okay, Freitas 2301 south, 17856 east. I wrote down east. 20 east southeast, 20% cloud cover, on a course of 356 true, 7 knots. And Savu is the destination with 393 miles to go. So you've got plenty of wind, and it looks like it will be a bit that way for a while, but easing up when you arrive. Over.
Yeah, sorry Patricia, I did say east and I meant west for our longitude. Sorry, that was my bad. Yes, the wind looks like it's going to stay in much the same, and we also had a visit from the Fiji Navy boat, but we weren't sailing by the time they boarded us. Over.
Wow.
Oh, did they actually come on board? Over.
Yes, it was a very interesting experience, which I didn't particularly enjoy until they were actually on the boat, and they did a thorough search, and it took about 45 minutes, and then they left.
45 minutes.
Wow, and you were actually outside the reef at that point and sailing. Could you just confirm that?
Romeo, we were actually contacted us about half an hour after we had left the pass, and told them that we were sailing and our destination was Tonga or Fiji, and they said they would come by. They didn't say they were going to board until they came in the Zodiac over.
Well, I'll just repeat that. Freitas left Minerva today, and about half an hour after leaving the pass, they were contacted by the Fijian, and I presume this was the boat that Pogian talked about. It was a sort of a rubber Zodiac. Could you just confirm that? Over.
That's what she said.
Patricia, yes, the Zodiac was launched from a Navy ship, so we saw the Navy ship and then they launched the Zodiac from that. Over.
Oh, you guys must have looked a bit suspicious. Okay, I'm just busy writing down. And
that's open water.
That is open waters, but it is interesting. They must, well, I will do a little bit of an inquiry about the legality of that. So they were on board for 45 minutes, but quite courteous by the sound of it when they were actually on board. But it must have been a little bit concerning for a while there. Over.
Yeah, Romeo, I did ask the question, did they have to board us, and asked if we were in Fijian waters, and they said yes, we were in Fijian waters. Over.
Okay, so that's interesting, but particularly as well, this gets back to, is it Tongan or Fijian waters? So I would have thought that North Minerva, well, of course you left from South Minerva, so Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I will see what I can discern from all of that. But thank you for the report, Paula. Over.
Yeah, to be honest, 10 Fijians in a big zodiac, some of them with guns, I wasn't really going to keep arguing. Over.
No, I wouldn't be either. 10 of them on the Zodiac. God. Well, maybe it was a bit of an exercise, but when they were on board, could you just describe, did they open cupboards and drawers or walk through, or what exactly did they do? Over.
Yeah, so after the initial checking of all the documents, including our advance notice of arrival, the customs officer wanted to search down below, and he wanted to see under bunks, in lockers, under the floor, pretty much everything. I think the context of it is they're looking for drug runners, over.
Yes, well, Fiji have in fact had problems with drugs on boats, on sailboats. They just had some publicity about it a couple of weeks ago, so that's exactly right. But you know, one would have thought, well, I guess they just have to treat everybody the same. But yes, they have had quite a big haul from a sailboat not so long ago. Okay, well, I hope that the rest of the passage is somewhat more peaceful for you guys, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Over.
Thanks, Patricia. I don't know, just quickly, if you heard from my friends on Lady Annabelle leaving Sydney today, they'll be too far away to pick you up, but maybe next week they will contact you. I don't know if they sent you an email.
No, they haven't, but we are getting our signal at this time of the night, which is designed to cover quite a wide area. We have had reports from people that monitor SDRs along the coast there, and we do get quite a good signal into New South Wales and Queensland. So I will give a call to Lady Annabelle, but yeah, they might have decided not to tune in at this stage, so I will try that now, actually. So we'll clear with you on Freightus. Talk to you again tomorrow. It looks like you'll be making some good progress in the next 24 hours. And is Lady Annabelle on frequency? Please call now. No, nothing heard. Is there anybody else wanting to check in? I mentioned that White Hawk has left and is heading to Fiji, and Pogean is guarding the North Minerva Lagoon. Is there anybody else wanting to check in with any news or questions? Oh yeah, g'day Ed, go ahead.
Before anybody showed up, I guess. But yeah, we've got, okay, the new position now is 2247 south, 17914 west. We've got about 15 to 18 knots of easterly winds and about a 1.5 meter easterly swell, but there's also a 2 meter southeast swell that shows up once in a while, but it seems to be fading. Yeah, we're on a course of about 342 heading towards, through the lull into Southern Samoa.
Roger that. So you left today, missed all the action there. 2247 south, 17914 west on a course of 342 with 15 to 18 knots of easterly. That's keep Arca moving rather well, and a 1.5 easterly swell with a 2 meter southeasterly coming every now and again, but seems to be fading. Okay, oh well, sounds pretty good conditions.
Close to Freightus.
Close to Freightus is, yes, David. So both going to Savu, so you'll be able to keep in radio contact if need be. Okay, and I meant to tell you guys that there are a lot of fishing boats have all of a sudden come into the area. Most of them are Fijian, but there are some that are Japanese, haven't seen them for a while in the area, and of course Chinese. So hopefully they certainly, a lot of them on AIS, but whether they're lit, God only knows. So keep a good lookout overnight. Over.
Thank you for that. That's always good to know. There's usually a problem someplace below Kandavu.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We actually got quite good fishing around Kandavu, but it was fish that we didn't know about, the ciguatera. What's the name of that fish that there were plentiful
Spanish
there?
mackerel.
Spanish mackerel, yeah. And we were sort of a bit dubious about them, but yeah, no, there's just swarms of them. It's all of a sudden over.
The Japanese did a research vessel down there once, and they went down for 8 hours, spent 8 hours there, and came back and told the Fijians they had too many tuna.
Well, there you go. It's obviously the seas are in good shape, but maybe they've all put their AIS on because the Fijian Navy and the Tongan Navy are actually out and about over.
Yeah, that's the thought. Yeah, like 200-mile limit is that's pushing it to. I guess now Honolulu is probably only 100 miles away, so 200 miles off from them would cover both the rivers.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, it's. I'm glad I wasn't having to deal with what freighters did. That's sort of quite scary in a way. But you just hope that if they're wearing a uniform. Although Pogian said that the Fijian ship that they saw had a lot of people in mufti on it. So and they were fishing actually when he saw them after the Zodiac had visited. So I guess it's sort of a multi-purpose visit that they're having. And good luck to them. All right, you guys enjoy the night. You'll certainly have nice winds to get up there. So we'll chat again tomorrow. Over.
Roger, is that pretty much matched with what they're seeing?
Yes, it is. Pretty much the same again tomorrow. He's actually just looking at the moment for both of you. But it did look as if it was going to be a couple of days actually of east or east-southeast.
Same tomorrow.
Yeah, same tomorrow. He said exactly the same tomorrow. Over.
Okay, well, we move along, but we're officially in the tropics and it's still chilly.
Chilly.
Yeah, right. Well, I tell you what, it's if you had it at 17, which it is now, you'd probably feel even more chilly. But I guess you're acclimatized to it being, well, the expectations are a bit higher. But anyway, you're headed in the right direction. Alrighty. Okay, we'll clear with you. Arca, is there anybody else? And Whitehawk is there, yeah, and I see you guys took off. Did you get a visit from the Navy too, over?
Yes, we got a visit from the Navy when we were preparing the boat to go, and because of that we won't get in Sunday night, probably. I'll get in Monday morning.
So did they come on board as well?
Yeah, they came on board, and in the 14 years of cruising, we've never had such a thorough search. Like Paul said, they went in the floorboards, they wanted to go under the customers, open, the canvas bags, look in the bathroom, you name it.
Wow, that's interesting, and all that time and never had it before, not even from the US Coast Guard. Oh, goodness gracious me. So, but was it all done politely and nicely, over?
Yes, they were very, very polite, very professional. It was the customs guard that came below, and he, took off his shoes and was, very professional, but they don't everywhere.
Wow, okay. Hey, while you're there, I'd like a position because the AIS on you is a couple of hours old, over.
Okay, this position is a few minutes off, but here we go. 23 degrees, 10-4 south, 179 degrees, 16 west, course, 345 true, speed, 8 knots, wind, we've got about 16 knots, due east, swell 1 to 2 meters from the southeast, cloud cover 30%, and Boeing 1019 for Kirby.
Yeah, good copy on you. This is Whitehawk on their way north, 2324 south, 17916 west, 345 true, 8 knots with that nice 16 knots of easterly. Boy, boats like that, don't they? 1 to 2 meters southeast swell, 30% cloud cover, and 1019er. I've forgotten, are you Savu or on the west? Over?
We are going to check in at Suva unless something changes.
Oh, okay, Suva. Yeah, we never actually got to Suva because we were going to check out of there one year, and we got to Lavuka, and it was so lovely there and so peaceful and nice and so on that we checked out from there. But you are headed to Suva. Alrighty. But just keep that in mind because it's a lovely little town there, just up a bit. So it's a good place to visit. Mind you, you probably might have been there before. All right, I take it all is well on board. So a very good evening to you both. Over.
Thank you, all is well. Yes, we have visited Lavuka, and it is a very cute little town. We would like to chat this with Fregus onto the net if possible.
Roger that. So Freda, stay on frequency. You and Whitehawk will have the run of the frequency after the net. Okay, is there anybody else before I pass the microphone? David, for anyone that's interested, we'll just whip through what the forecasts are for the major island groups. Is there anybody else?
Mackay?
Yeah, hello Barry. Good evening to you. I was just chuckling about something else, not about you, but go ahead.
It's okay, Trish. People laugh at me all the time. Anyway, no, just kidding. I have some info. I think you said that SV Glacic was on its way into Minerva. Was that correct, over?
Yes, I didn't see them on AIS, but Pajian said that that they were approaching. I got an email from him over.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, they're friends of mine. Met them up in Tangeray, and that's Biru and Chris with their son Joey. And looking forward, they're going to be heading over here to Tonga, so I'll be looking forward to seeing them when they get here. All right, I just wanted to confirm that, and they have Starlink aboard, so I may be able to message them a little bit later. I'll say thank you so much. I'll be standby listening. This is Sailing Vessel Mackay on this side.
Okay, thanks Barry, and I shall pass the microphone now to David and see what he's got in the way of an outlook for everybody.
Yeah, wow, a lot of information tonight, that's for sure. We really did have to laugh about the Fijians. I mean, the minute they got word the Tongans were there, bang, off they were. Boy, oh boy, it's been going on for decades like that. So, yes, for Freitas, Akka, and Whitehawk, the next couple of days are going to be more of the same, maybe a little bit more wind in a day or two as you head toward Fiji. The isobars are a little bit compressed, so you might be seeing winds of about 22, 23 knots in that neighborhood. But yeah, it's going to be a good sail from what I can see heading up there. So, all right, I'm going to start with the island groups, and I'll go pretty fast here. Fiji met. They have issued a strong wind warning for all Fiji waters. That's been going on for a week. Forecast to 6 p.m. tomorrow for all of their waters. Southeast winds 20 to 25, and the further outlook, in other words the next day, southeast winds 20 to 25 and rough seas for both. And that's pretty much what I was talking about. The isobars are quite a bit. They are compressed up in that area. They are on the outskirts of that high that's just over New Zealand and moving a little bit to the east of New Zealand at the moment. So that's for Fiji, and we'll run over to Tonga. And in Tonga, their Met Service has continued with a strong wind warning and actually a small craft advisory for all Tongan coastal waters. And the forecast up to midnight tomorrow is for southeasterly winds 10 to 15, rising 20 to 25 at times. Moderate sea up to 2.5 meters, and a moderate southerly swell up to 2.5 meters. The outlook on Sunday for, again, all waters, all coastal waters. East to southeast winds 10 to 20 knots, rising to 25 to 30 knots at times. Moderate to rough seas up to 3 meters, and the moderate southerly swell up to 2.5 meters. So, as you can see, it's going to pick up a little bit up in the islands there. Anybody still around Fuamotu, the airport, at 1 p.m. reports barometric pressure 1019.8 millibar, and the relative humidity 65%. Okay, moving on to Vanuatu. Now, I have given up talking about the Met Service from Vanuatu. I don't know what actually is going on with not necessarily the Met Service, but the whole way that they're putting out forecasting for their major groups, north and south. It seems like the right hand is not talking to the left hand or something like that. So anyway, I'm just, instead of doing that, I'll just tell you what it looks like from a model standpoint. And this will be for tomorrow. And it looks like pretty much up and down the group. Wait 1 second. My computer just went haywire. Well, it really did go haywire. So if anybody is in Vanuatu and wants info, give me a call, give us a call, and maybe by then I'll have it squared away. But it looks like mostly easterly winds, and I would say about 20 knots, if I could remember what I just looked at a few minutes ago. So that's the story, up and down the group. There is no precipitation that I can see when I'm looking at satellite imagery, which is about 1 hour old. Cumulus, low cumulus, clouds going east to west, so they would probably be no higher than 700 millibar, in other words about 10,000 feet. They don't look like they are carrying much in the way of precipitation, so it looks pretty good. Now up in the banks, that may be a different story. For those of you that are up way to the north in Vanuatu, there's a good chance, from what I can see on the satellite imagery, that you may get some rain, squalls, and that sort of thing. So we'll see. Be nice to hear somebody from Vanuatu. Anyway, so that's it from me, and I'll pass it on to the chief. As soon as the chief wakes up.
I'm actually writing emails. So there, this is Gulf Harbour Radio. Is there anybody left to join us or a comment to make before I vacate the microphone and leave the frequency to Whitehawk, I think it was. Boy, I've forgotten already.
Yep, Whitehawk.
Yeah, Gulf Harbour, this is Strader, Silver.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so particularly, you did mention tomorrow, but I thought you guys were away for the weekend. Can you just confirm if you will or won't be on the radio tomorrow?
Oh, we'll definitely be on the radio tomorrow. We don't really sort of take off unless there's absolutely nobody around. Probably come July, August, that might be the case. But no, we're definitely here tomorrow. And please stay on frequency to talk to Whitehawk. Over.
Romeo, okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, cheers everybody. One final call. Nothing heard, so we will be talking to you again tomorrow. I think we've got a dry day again tomorrow here, so we'll be enjoying doing a bit of work outside, pruning trees. This is Patricia and David, Gulf Harbour Radio. We're signing clear and leaving the frequency to Freitas and Whitehawk. Have a good night, everybody, especially those at sea. It looks like lovely winds in the right direction, so a very pleasant night will be had. Cheers all.
Yeah, we tried for a bit, but